riders on the storm.
And the music was good and the music was loud.
Yeah, I see the IROC TV, so I'll say Ultimate Dirt TV as well on IROC. Alright, I'm gonna go with that then.
So we're on IROC TV again too, huh?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the season finale for the Next Level Racing 360 Sprint Cars at the Sprint Car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. My name is Drake York. Joining me is Kelby Cross to round out the 2002 season that started back then, and now we're in 2023. And Kelby, it all comes down to this: a big 50-lapper here at the Sprint Car capital of the world.
What better way to cap off a great season for the Next Level 360s? It's almost all but decided at the front of this thing with the points. Ty Schobalak is your points leader with Josh Steinke, and then Ryan Avila there in third. But that you can bet they're still all going to be going for it here tonight at the Sprint Car capital of the world.
You hit the nail on the head there. Ty Schobalak all but has the title in hand for the Next Level Racing 360s, and Joshua Steinke looks to have the second spot well in hand. But there's some good battles once we go down through the order and points, but we'll wait on that for another time in the evening. Qualifying is underway for the Next Level Racing 360s following the 14 of Derek Patetti. First couple cars putting in their first lap times. Michael Farron the fastest at a 15.609. Only 3 cars out there so far. Michael Farron trying to improve on his second lap. Looks like he'll have to stay at a 15.609 for Michael Farron. Matt Grimm, a driver we normally don't see with the series. That clean green, or I should say black 91 with green lettering on the side.
New fast qualifier. Couple of new ones there.
Yeah, and the beauty of iRacing, if this is your first time tuning into a dirt iRace, but you can actually qualify the entire field all at once, and nobody will interfere with anybody, and everybody can get 2 clean and green laps in as we follow Ross Kaiser in the 51 Esports Speed Shot 51.com number 4. Stevens now to the top of the speed charts. No, Tanner Pettit now the fastest. 15.539 for the California driver. Tanner Pettit, a regular with the Apex Series, dropping down to the 360s here tonight at Knoxville. Only a minute now, make that less than a minute. Let's go here in qualifying.
We're just watching Kaiser there. He went second on the board, 15.532 there in the 4-car.
There's Blake Giglio, another one of the regulars with the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship. They'll be in action with their season finale tomorrow. Giglio 13th after 1 lap. Can he improve? His final lap as he plugs into the fence for good measure. Looks like he will stay down 13th. He now gets bumped down to 14th. Ernie Williams Jr., this driver, always a threat wherever he goes, especially with the 410s, but coming down to the 360s here tonight at Knoxville. Currently 9th on the speed charts for the Ultimate Dirt TV at Black Diamond Motorsports, 91.
We saw Ernie Williams a few weeks ago back at Port Royal right before Christmas, and he was one of the highlights of that night as qualifying concludes here at the Sprint Car capital of the world.
Here is your qualifying rundown. Tanner Pettit, the fastest in car number 24 at 15.529. Ross Kaiser, second fastest. Car number 4, just 3/100ths of a second off of Pettit. Ty Schobalak, who looks to wrap up the championship tonight's 3rd. Sean Stevens 4th. Oliver 5th. Hoffman 6th. Grimm 7th. Farron 8th. Ernie Williams 9th. And Ricky Jones, your top 10. On to heat race number 1 now. On the inside of the front row out of Chico, California, by virtue of going quick time tonight, is Tanner Pettit. And to his outside from the other end of the globe is Sean Stevens in car number 26. Matt Grimm will line up to the inside of row number 2, and to his outside, Ricky Jones out of California. Cole Croft, another California driver, will start to the inside of row number 5, and Ryan Frugier will make up the 3rd and final row. Caden Folkerts on the inside of row number 4 by his lonesome will start 7th. That's your lineup for heat race number 1 for the Next Level Racing at 360s here on iRacing.
7 cars going to go 10 laps here. Green is in the air.
On the break, it's Tanner Pettit into turn number 1. He jumps out in front of the field, picked up a win at Lernerville earlier this week and trying to add another win onto his racing week. Pettit leads the charge into 3 and 4 with the Aussie right behind him. Sean Stevens in second and Ricky Jones, the top 3 as they complete lap number 1.
Behind them, it's Grimm, Croft, Fruget, and Folkerts. That rounds out the field. Folkerts as the rest of the field bunches up and pulling away from him as they complete lap number 2 here in heat race number 1.
And takes a look to the inside of Jones. Jones in that Ricky Bobby throwback. Ricky Jones, actually better known as Ricky Bobby, so that's why the Wonder Bread paint scheme on car number 19. He's trying to hold off Matt Grimm. Grimm takes another peek to the inside into turn number 1. Looks for it side by side with Jones. Jones has the momentum high side. He hangs on a third. Bring in another California driver, Cole Croft, in the mix. And back behind Croft, you have Fruget. This is a 4-car race for the 3rd spot off of turn number 4.
Jones says, nay, nay, not today, but Grimm down to the inside through 1 and 2, drives it in deep. And Jones is going to be able to hold him off as we've got a battle for the lead coming off of turn number 4.
Stevens looks to the inside of Tanner Pettit. Can't make the move down the front stretch. Swings wide. Now cuts to the bottom off of turn number 2. Tanner Pettit doing everything he can to hold off the Aussie, but still, Pettit up front. Stevens again looks low, and a big thing here at Knoxville is trying to get clean air on that front nose wing, and you'll notice Sean Stevens is doing his best to stay out of the wake of Tanner Pettit's car, but so far it is just not doing the trick as Pettit now pulls away down the back straightaway.
Pettit entering middle and drifting out to the top of the cushion as the cushion already almost near the wall up around the Knoxville Raceway as we've got 2 laps to go, or at least coming to 2 laps to go this time.
Battle for 3rd, while it is decreased in car count, is still ultra competitive between Ricky Jones and Grimm. Grimm takes a look to the inside of Jones through 1 and 2. Ricky's going to swing it wide up off the corner, and he powers away. Cole Croft trying to put his hat back in the ring as he pulls to the bumper of Matt Grimm through 3 and 4 with a white flag waving up front.
Boy, Cole Croft is driving it deep into the corner, trying to make up ground on those 2 cars in front of him. Pettit and Stevens are out front. Pettit all by his lonesome. He's going to take the checkered flag. Then it'll be Stevens, Jones, Grimm, Croft, Fruget, and Folkerts is how they will finish heat race number 1.
Tanner Pettit now with a shot to go for the clean sweep here at the Knoxville Raceway. He's your winner of heat race number 1, and we'll start on the pole of tonight's 50-lap feature event. Sean Stevens 2nd, Ricky Jones 3rd, Grimm was 4th, Cole Croft rounds out the top 5. Ryan Fruget and Caden Folkerts, your 7-car finishing field. On to heat race number 2, Ross Kaiser in the 51 eSport, speedshop51.com. Number 4 will start on the pole, and 2 is outside is Brian Oliver. EA driver Michael Farron will start on the inside of row number 2, and 2 is outside in the Apex Autoglass and Tinting. Number 48, that's Jonathan Paquette. Giglio is going to be fun to watch in this one. He will start 5th, and 2 is outside is Derek Patetti. Your 7th and final starter in heat race number 2 in the LGR Motorsports 56, it's Randy Shreves. McKelvey, the track was hammered down in heat race number 1. Do you think it's going to slick off a little bit more here in heat race number 2?
I think maybe a little bit. We'll have to, well, obviously we're going to find out, but it's still looking pretty heavy right now, especially down around the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see that everybody was kind of up around the top through the first heat race all the way around the racetrack, so we'll see if anybody tries to make the bottom as we go green here.
Green flag is out. Ross Kaiser leads the charge and it turns 1 and 2, and he got off to a big jump over Oliver. Oliver trying to strike back on the high side, closes in on Kaiser down the backstretch, not able to get to the bumper as Kaiser leads by about 2 car lengths, but Oliver with another good run off the high side of turn number 4 brings it down to 2 as they go into turn number 1.
Boy, everybody right up on the wall as they come through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Kaiser leads it over Oliver. So we've got a battle for third between Farron and Giglio. Oh, make it a 3-car battle as Paquette joins the race.
Paquette looks to the inside of Giglio through turns 1 and 2. Paquette in 48, Giglio in number 16. Giglio edges ahead and now will pull away from Paquette, sets his sights once more on Michael Farron for the third spot.
Sizing him up into 1 and 2. He goes way high. Going to try and cut down off the top of the racetrack to get a run. Side by side down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Red and black 16 slides into third. 22 turns it back underneath him down the front straightaway. Farron back to third.
Edges ahead once more, clears the slider. Giglio counter punches off at turn number 2 and he powers to third down the backstretch. Can he get to Brian Oliver for the second spot?
Farron now turns it back off of turn number 4, but not going to be able to do anything as Oliver goes way down to the inside on entry of 1 and 2. So did Farron trying to get to the inside of Giglio. Giglio rolling the top around the Knoxville Raceway as Kaiser completes another lap out front.
Kaiser now leads by just over a second over second place running Brian Oliver. Kaiser at SpeedShot51.com, number 4, leads the charge, and clean air, being what it is at Knoxville, is so valuable to these drivers. But the race for the second spot definitely heating up. Oliver to the bottom side of 1 and 2, trying to block the run from Giglio, does so for the moment. Giglio swings wide off the corner, may have a run into turn number 3 as we ride on board with Oliver.
Giglio running about mid-high. Oliver sliding all the way across the racetrack as Giglio pulls even with him and takes the second spot by a nose into 1 and 2, slides up and clears him. Giglio into the second spot.
And the big question is, does Giglio have anything for Ross Kaiser? Kaiser leads by just over a second as they turn for the white flag. Nonetheless, a huge charge for Giglio, dramatically improving his starting spot in the feature event through this heat race.
Down the back straightaway for the final time. Into turn number 3, off of turn number 4. Ross Kaiser is going to win heat race number 2. Giglio, Oliver, Farron, Paquette, Petetti, and Shreves is how they will follow him.
Ross Kaiser wins heat race number 2, and he will start on the outside of the front row for tonight's 50-lap feature event. Blake Giglio second, Brian Oliver third, Michael Farron fourth, Jonathan Paquette fifth, Derek Petetti sixth, and Randy Shreves will round out the field in 7th as we get ready for heat race number 3. On the inside of the front row, this driver is all but locked up the Next Level Racing Championship for this season. That's Ty Showblock in car number 17. To his outside in the SpeedShot51.com, number 11, that's Kenny Hoffman. The inside of number 2 in the Black Diamond Motorsports 91, that's Ernie Williams Jr. And to his outside is Aiden Forrester, a winner at Port Royal earlier this year with the series. Another one of the 51 Esports SpeedShot51.com entries. This is the 49 of Ryan Avila, and your 6th and final starter in heat race number 3 will be Terrell Wheeler.
Boy, a stacked heat race here in terms of regulars with this series.
For Showblock, put together a fantastic season with the series. Just picked up his first win of the season last week at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We'll roll from the pole in this one. Winner of this will start on the inside of row number 2 for tonight's feature event, and this one is stacked. Kelby, you said that top to bottom, these drivers all have a chance at winning the big 50-lapper here tonight. As Showblock and Hoffman set the pace in the fire-off zone in turn number 4.
Green flag waves, and we're rolling here in heat race number 3. Ty Showblock with a big advantage into 1 and 2. Battle for second between Ernie Williams Jr. and Kenny Hoffman. Here comes Forrester on the top of the racetrack. Ryan Avila there as well. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. All right, there's a couple of cars hanging on the wall coming off of 4.
Well, look at all the SpeedShot51.com entries. Nose to tell. Hoffman, Avila, Forrest are all racing for that second spot. Hoffman with a big slider tries to put some distance on 3rd and 4th place cars, and now here comes Ernie Williams Jr. into the fray. It's about a 5-car race for the second spot as they work through turns 1 and 2.
Avila slides up, Forrester down to the inside as Avila smacks the wall down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Kenny Hoffman up on the wall coming out of 4. Forrester going to have a run into 1 and 2.
Forrester looks to the inside, contact back behind. That's Terrell Wheeler sideways, as well as Ryan Avila, who crashed deeper into the corner. No yellow flags in heat race competition for the Next Level Racing 360, so we'll stay clean and green. Up at the front, it's your points leader, Ty Schoblock, with Hoffman closely behind in second and Aiden Forrester in third.
Forrester trying to keep pace with Hoffman as he enters way high into 3 and 4, trying to cut down and get a run down the front straightaway. Pull even with Hoffman, and not quite this time as he continues to get closer to him, though.
Forrester with a big diamond line off the corner, and he pulls the tail take of Hoffman. Takes a look to the inside, slides across the groove all the way to the fence. Hoffman back to the inside. That's the race for second into turn number 1.
Trading the second spot here in heat race number 3. Forrester and Hoffman side by side, wing to wing and wheel to wheel into turn number 3. Forrester slide job through 3 and 4. Hoffman back down to the inside. They cross under the white flag with 2 laps to go.
Ty Schoblock is loving what he's seeing behind him. He looks to pull away to the win here in just a few laps for heat race number 3. But Forrester with another big move in turn number 3 gets the spot. Hoffman again back to the inside. He dives low in turns 1 and 2. Forrester knew what was coming and crosses under him as they're side by side past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And Forrester back into the second spot.
Forrester slid up. This time he's going to be able to keep Hoffman behind him, but Hoffman's going to cut down off the top of 1 and 2. Trying to keep that race for the second spot going is down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3 for the final time. Ty Schoblock cuts it down off the top of turn number 4 and wins heat race number 3. Forrester second, and Kenny Hoffman in third. Ernie Williams Jr. in fourth. But how about Ty Schoblock? Showing him how it's done and winning from the pole in heat race number 3.
Like I said earlier, Kelby, clean air is so valuable here at the Knoxville Raceway. Ty Schoblock, your points leader, looking to lock up the title, wins heat race number 3. Aiden Forrester got the best of Kenny Hoffman in the race for second. Hoffman will have to settle for third. Ernie Williams Jr. fourth. Wheeler and Ryan Avila will round out the field. Those two, if you'll remember back to earlier in the race, got caught up in an accident together. As we are getting ready to go for tonight's feature event for the Next Level Racing 360s. And real quick, we'll explain how this is going to work. So it's 50 laps tonight. They'll be broken up into 2 segments, just like the Knoxville Nationals. On 25 laps first, have a break, and then they'll run the second 25. But here's the catch. You have to take the checkered flag in the first 25 lap segment to move on to the last 25 lap segment. So bear that mind as we get ready to go for the first 25 lap segment. Looking for the clean sweep on the night will be the driver out of Chico, California. That's Tanner Pettit. To his outside is Ross Kaiser. 51 Esports teammates will make up the front row. Points leader and soon to be champion with the Next Level Racing 360s will line up on the inside of number 2. That's Ty Schoblock. To his outside is Sean Stevens. Blake Giglio, Aiden Forrester, row number 3. Ricky Jones and Brian Oliver, row number 4. Hoffman and Grimm, row 5. Michael Farron and Ernie Williams Jr., row number 6. Back to row number 7 will be Cole Croft and Jonathan Paquette. Terrell Wheeler and Ryan Frugier, row number 8. Derek Teddy and Ryan Avila in row number 9. Caden Folkerts and Randy Shreves, your 10th and final row. Once again, this is the first 25 lap segment for tonight's 50 lapper. You have to take the checkered flag in this first 25 lap segment. Move on to the final. And how we'll line up the final segment will be straight up on how they finish this first segment. So if you win this segment, you will start on the pole for the final 25 laps of the feature event. Similar looking cars there on the front row for Tanner Pettit and Ross Kaiser, as they break into the 4-wide formation for the final time this season. The Next Level Racing 360s are set to do battle, and they'll cap off the season right here at the Sprint Car Capital of the World. So whether you're at home Up off the couch, wave to these drivers as they are getting ready to do battle for 50 at the Sprint Car capital of the world. Going to do a lap here for the back stretchers, and then they'll break out of 4-wide formation. As the most beautiful sight in motorsports pulls its way around the sprint car capital of the world. It looks like they'll stay in formation for one more lap around the front straightaway, so give them an extra wave from your couch as they are ready to do battle here at the Knoxville Raceway for the final time this season. Field works their way back into 2x2 formation as they'll file behind the iRacing.com Chevy Silverado pace truck. And with taking the green flag, Ty Showblock will be the champion. The Next Level Racing 360s. Really solid year. Wasn't flashy all the time, but nonetheless got the job done. Picked up his first win of the season last week at the Lucas Oil Speedway as Ross Kaiser is dropping towards the tail of the field. Not sure what reason is for that, but Kaiser will drop towards the tail of the field. That will move everybody on the outside row up one row, so make that Sean Stevens now to the outside of the front row with Tanner Pettit to his inside. Aiden Forrester now on the outside of row number 2.
Yeah, that changes things.
Certainly does. Pettit and Stevens will set the pace into the fire-off zone in turn number 4. And for the final time this season, the Next Level Racing 360 sprint cars are green. And in turn number 1, it's Tanner Pettit taking the charge through the corner. Stevens in second, your points leader, and now champion Showblock settles into third.
Into turn number 3 and off of turn number 4. Pettit is going to lead the opening lap. Into 1 and 2. Showblock takes a peek to the inside of Stevens for the second spot, but he can't make the pass down the back straightaway. Forrester running by his lonesome in the 4th spot, and then it's Giglio in the 5th spot as they turn to complete lap number 2.
Look at the Hornet's Nest back through the field, 2 and 3 wide throughout the field. That first 2x2 battle is between Oliver on the outside and Grimm on the inside. That is the race for the 6th spot into turn number 3.
Oh, trouble. Giglio way up into the wall off of turn number 4. Keeps smacking it all the way around. He loses a bunch of spots. Into 1 and 2. Does the 16 car going to have to regroup and get back through there?
That was devastating for Giglio. He is all the way back to 9th right now and is in some serious rush hour traffic. He looks to the inside of Ernie Williams down the front straightaway in turns 1 and 2. But don't forget, Giglio started pretty deep in his heat race too and was able to dig his way out of that. We'll see what he has to do. Obviously has a long way to go in tonight's feature event. Up front, things are getting good. A 3-car race for the lead as they go down to turn number 1.
Showblock, Stevens, and Pettit at the front of this thing, trying to put on a show down the back straightaway. Showblock follows Stevens through 3 and 4, trying to close up and battle for that second spot. Off of turn number 4, Stevens keeps it this time.
Stevens doing a good job hanging on to the second spot. Showblock pulls another trick and dives down to the bottom side off of turn number 2. Meanwhile, that battle for the 5th spot continues to be a good one between Grimm and Oliver. Grimm slides to the high side. Oliver dives low. They're side by side one more time entering turn number 1.
Into 1 and 2. Grimm trying to make his way back up through the field. He's already back up to 6th. Is into 3 and 4. The 91 down to the inside of, oh, that's Giglio, sorry. I meant that. Anyways, big trouble into 1 and 2. Including your points leader.
Showblock with heavy damage. Oliver involved as well as Sean Stevens, and the yellow is out for the first time this evening. Better look here at the replay. Wow, it looked like it was way ahead of Oliver. As Stevens and Schoblock crashing on the front straightaway, and Oliver barreling down there battling, and he did not see it coming at all. Here's another look at it, watching Jonathan Paquette barely snake his way through the Carnage entering turn number 1.
Looks to me like that was a product of, here we go, Stevens and Schoblock doing battle. Boy, they got together off of turn number 4. Forrester threading the needle through there to get into the second spot.
I think that tells a lot more of the story, because while we were watching that live between Oliver and Grimm racing each other, those two cars just seemed to pop up out of nowhere. That's a tough one right there, because it looks like Stevens came down and Schoblock was holding his line, but it's a different story from behind the wheels. Man, that could have been a lot worse. Only swept up about 3 cars entering turns 1 and 2, but your champion Schoblock with some heavy, heavy damage, as well as the Aussie Sean Stevens.
Keep in mind, they have to take the checkered to start the next main event, so that could have taken out some big hitters right there.
Kelby, you bring up a good point. Looking at Schoblock, he is currently listed as in the pit area, as well as Sean Stevens. Oliver listed in the work area. Oliver on the pit exit road, so he should be able to continue on. A lot of heavy hitters involved in that incident. Pettit will remain your race leader. Aiden Forrester now restart in the second position. Matt Grimm third, Ricky Jones fourth, and Blake Giglio all the way back inside the top 5. Don't count out Ryan Avila. He's restarting on the outside of row number 3 and 6th as the pace track down the infield. Forrester the front row as we come back to the green flag.
Green is back out into 1 and 2. Look at Grimm down on the inside. He gets his way onto the bottom step of the podium. Looking for more as we go into turn number 3. Jones down to the bottom. Avila right there as well. 3 wide almost for third.
Jones tested the waters down the bottom. Not a lot to grab onto the bottom side of the speedway right now, and that cost him dearly. Ryan Avila all the way into the third position now as they race down the back straightaway, but he has got his fair share of drivers challenging for that spot between Matt Grimm and Blake Giglio.
Into 1 and 2. Avila settles into the third spot, now sets his sights on Forrester into 3 and 4. Nothing going this time as we got him 3 wide. Trouble. Giglio spins out right in front of another car who had nowhere to go.
That was Terrell Wheeler. It also looked like Michael Farron got a piece of it as we are going to go yellow once more. As Giglio was on the comeback trail, got into the back of another car, spun sideways, got clobbered by Terrell Wheeler and Michael Farron. As I mentioned, looked to have had a piece of that. Able to drive away. There's Giglio in the red and black 16 racing with Matt Grimm. Grimm comes off the cushion. Giglio spins nowhere for Terrell Wheeler to go. Farron make contact. They spun. Also looked like a Willie Croft's car dotted, or not Willie Croft's car, excuse me, Cole Croft's car dotted across the screen there. So it looked like Cole maybe had some involvement in this incident. Is Giglio able to drive away? We'll see if he could dive for the work area.
In your defense, it does look like one of Willie's cars.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it. Man,
wow.
Just an unfortunate incident right there. And man, that, like the other crash too, didn't notice Derek Patetti got a piece of it as he was trying to miss the accident. It's like that crash earlier. That one could have been so much worse, and thankful it wasn't, because there's still a lot of good cars in the running for this one. Riding on board with Blake Giglio now. I don't really think he was expecting Grimm to come off the high side like he did and just got clobbered by Patetti. And no, that was Wheeler, excuse me. And then Patetti comes by at the last second for good measure.
I wonder if Grimm got a little sideways as he came off of 4 and came down the racetrack.
That's not a bad theory, but noticing right now, Ryan Oliver back in the work area. It looks like Stevens and Schoblock done for the evening. We'll get a word with Ty Schoblock post-race to talk about his championship run in 2022, ending now in the new year, 2023. And Block, I was looking at his stats coming into this evening. His average finish was 3rd coming into tonight, so that's definitely going to hurt the average. Nonetheless, he is your champion with the Next Level Racing 360s. Racing Chevy Silverado pace truck back into the infield. Field is back on it, riding on board with Tanner Pettit as he takes the green flag once more.
Into 1 and 2, Avila and Forrester going side by side for the second spot. Down the back straightaway, Avila on the inside, slides up. He's going to take that second spot as Forrester rides up on the wall. Kenny Hoffman into the 5th spot. We've got him wrecking again off of turn number 4.
Big crash, Terrell Wheeler upside down, Jonathan Paquette and Cole Croft all involved in another huge accident off of turn number 4. The yellow flag will be needed. Actually, check that. They're going to keep it green for the moment as everybody scatters and Ricky Jones absolutely smoked Terrell Wheeler on the front stretch. Now the yellow flag will come out.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I was surprised to not see the yellow come out like that, and huge damage to Ricky Jones's Wonder Bread number 19 machine, as it looks like he's going to make a dive off into the work area here. Car should not be leaning that direction. We'll get a look at what happened here. It was Terrell Wheeler, the first car that went flipping. Watching Paquette and Wheeler. Oh, Cole Croft got sideways. Collected Paquette. Wheeler had nowhere to go as well. They go flipping down the front stretch, or at least Wheeler does. Cole Croft sneaks away. So does Paquette. Still green right here.
Yeah, Cole Croft was riding up along the wall as they came out of turn number 4. And that just collected the other 2.
Just bad luck for Ricky Jones right there. The top 4 managed to see Wheeler in time, and I forget who was in front of Ricky Jones right there, but it looked like the car in front of Ricky darted out at the last second to miss Wheeler, and next thing Ricky knew, Wheeler was sitting there in his lap. There's a look at the inciting incident. Cole Croft has some serious damage on that 29 machine. So yes, everybody gets away, and Wheeler's just in the water essentially on the front stretch, and there goes the field, and there goes Ricky Jones flipping down the front straightaway.
Yikers.
A tough break for Wheeler, Paquette, Croft, and Jones, as he's still rolling around on the speedway, so there may not be as much damage as we previously thought. 18. It doesn't look like all of it's straight, though. Top wing definitely banged up, but obviously Ricky thinks it's good enough to continue, so he's going to stay out there on the speedway. Looks like Ernie Williams Jr. too has some severe damage in the rear end of his race car, and he's keeping it out on the racetrack too.
Got to take the checkered to start the next main event. So we'll see if they can make some repairs, but we're going back to green.
Pettit has led this one from the drop of the green. He'll lead him back into turn number 1. Avila sweeps wide as Kenny Hoffman with a good move into the 3rd spot. He'll pass his Aiden Forster's Ryan Avila, the inside of Tanner Pettit into turn number 3.
They're side by side for the lead out of turn number 4. His car's up against the wall, but the battle is for the lead in 1 and 2. Pettit and Avila at the white flag down the back straightaway. Avila sizing him up, but he's not going to be close enough.
Off at turn number 4, Tanner Pettit leads all 25. So the first segment, he'll start on the pole for the final 25. That's Ryan Avila, Kenny Hoffman, Ross Kaiser, Aiden Forrester, Randy Shreves, Grimm, Giglio, Paquette, and Jones, the top 10 out of segment 1.
Get a few minutes to make some repairs and throw some fuel in.
Kelby, that's exactly what they're going to do here as everybody coming down into the work area for service, maybe some setup changes, and I know definitely a few of these guys are going to take advantage of this to work on those race cars and get them better, especially Ernie Williams Jr. and Ricky Jones, who we saw had some severe damage that first segment. So Tanner Pettit will start on the pole for the second segment. Still looking for that clean sweep here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Ryan Avila will join him on the front row. Kenny Hoffman, Ross Kaiser, third and fourth. Aiden Forster rounded out the top five. Randy Shreves, sixth. Seventh was Matt Grimm. Giglio, eighth. Paquette, ninth. Ricky Jones, 10th. Michael Farron, 11th. Cole Croft, 12th. Folkerts, 13th. Ernie Williams Jr., 14th. Terrell Wheeler, Brian Oliver, Derek Patetti, Sean Stevens, Ty Showblock, and Ryan Frugier rounding out the field. And I believe we'll go back to green with 14 cars. It looks like that was the number of cars that took the checkered flag in segment one. And attrition, Kelby, we knew it was going to have some role to play in this 50-lap feature event. I just don't think we thought it was going to have that big of a role to play. Get a word with our race leader, Tanner Pettit, as and his team thrashing on the race car to get it ready to go for the second segment. Tanner, looked like you were pretty comfortable out front, but obviously you had a lot of teammates coming in behind you, and they were trying some different things. What are you and your team going to adjust here under this red flag?
I really don't think I'm going to adjust a darn thing. I think I'm sitting pretty where I'm at. Definitely worried about the 4 or 5 teammates behind me, but played a little bit conservative in the first half. Just going to go for it in the second.
All right, we'll let you get back to work. That's Tanner Pettit, your current race leader here in the 50-lap feature at Knoxville for the Next Level Racing 360s. And he sounded awfully confident about how his race car was handling. So first, Tanner Pettit not going to adjust a darn thing on that race car.
Yeah, I thought they'd play a little nicer there in the first 25 laps, but I guess that's just not the case. That's not how we're rolling tonight. We're just all out.
Good way of putting it, but definitely this race we knew it was going to be interesting from the drop of the green flag. I just don't think we saw that many cars getting involved in big accidents like that. And Ty Showblock was one guy I had picked to make it to the end of the race and be a threat to win, and he's not going to make it to the end of the race. Neither will Sean Stevens. Those two crashed out together in spectacular fashion on the front straightaway.
Yeah, tough break for Ty Showblock there. At least wanted him to see him take the checkered flag here tonight, but unfortunately it's not going to happen.
Ty Showblock, by virtue of just showing up here at the Knoxville Raceway, is your champion with the Next Level Racing 360s. 1 win on the season. He had an average starting spot of third, and coming into tonight, obviously these averages will change based on results for Ty Showblock. But coming into the night, average finish was third. Remarkable. Josh Steinke missing the last 2 races. Nonetheless, will still finish second. A remarkable effort for Josh Steinke as well. And Avila currently third in the points heading into tonight, and there's some room right here for improvement for some drivers. So Ryan Avila came in the night third in points, 20 ahead of Kenny Hoffman. Obviously, Avila running ahead of Hoffman at this point under red flag conditions, just halfway into our 50-lap feature event. I'm currently sitting fourth in points. Jonathan Paquette, it's a bit of a rough night, but he's put together a solid season as well. Currently fifth in the points. That's your top 5 in points coming into tonight. Obviously, we know who the champion is, and we know who second in points will be. There's still a little bit to be decided for spots 3rd through 5th.
Avila finished second in the first segment there, and he looked like he was coming on pretty strong, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him at least be a factor in this second segment, along with guys like Kenny Hoffman and Forrester and other guys. And, who knows what's going to happen when guys make repairs and come back out.
So here is your lineup for the second segment, the 25-lap sprint to the finish. Tanner Pettit will start on the inside of the front row. You heard it from him earlier during the red flag. He is awfully confident in his race car right now. No changes going on the 51 Esports number 24 machine. Ryan Avila, his teammate, will start to the outside. Or 51 Esports cars will make up row number 2, Kenny Hoffman and Ross Kaiser. Aiden Forrester Rounding out the top 5 right now for 51 Esports will start 5th, and Randy Shreves, too, is outside. Matt Grimm and Blake Giglio will make up row number 4. Jonathan Paquette, Ricky Jones, row 5. Michael Farron, Cole Croft, row 6. And then we'll go down to row number 7 with Caden Folkerts and Ernie Williams Jr. Not sure if Terrell Wheeler and Brian Oliver will make the call. They're both on track towards the end of the first segment, but if I'm not mistaken, they did finish, and 17th through 20th you can discount because Derek Patetti, Sean Stevens, Ty Schoblock, and Ryan Frugier did not take the checkered flag in the first segment. Therefore, they are out of the running for tonight's feature event. We saw a podium sweep earlier this year at the Lincoln Speedway for the 51 Esports team. Could see a top 5 lockout here tonight with that team. And of course, Clayton Tilley and Speed Shot 51 the last few years have just put together an amazing program. And Ryan Avila has really burst onto the scene this year, in my opinion. 2 wins with the Next Level Racing 360s. Up his first career Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship win at Cedar Lake, which is where the series will be tomorrow to cap off their season. And if you could get a peek to the inside of Ryan Avila's car, he is known for rocking the SpongeBob helmet. Headed to Avila, the front row. There is that world-famous SpongeBob lid atop Ryan Avila's head. Back to the green flag off at turn number 4. 25 laps to go here at Knoxville. Avila with a big move in turns 1 and 2. He's cleared Pettit through the corner. Pettit back to the inside. Tanner Pettit reclaims the lead.
Into turn number 3, Pettit slides up and retakes the lead. Avila's going to reload and try and come back at him. Kaiser there in the 3rd spot, Hoffman and Forrester, and now Grimm as they go 3 wide for the 5th spot, 3rd for the top 5 spot down the back straightaway.
Ross Kaiser's team must have made some really good adjustments under that red flag, because that 4 car has fired off fantastically here on this restart, and he's keeping pace with Pettit and Avila. Forrester and Hoffman are closing in, though, and this may be a 3-car race for the 3rd spot entering turn number 3 as fireworks still shooting off. Ryan Avila into the wall. Oh, Forrester upside down in a big-time way in turn number 4. We're back to yellow flag conditions.
Tough break for Forrester there. All by himself, and the wall just sucked him in.
May have not had a winning car, but that number 20 machine was certainly top 5 caliber. To look at what happened. Forrester racing hard with his teammate Kenny Hoffman. Forrester goes to the high side. Rear gets in the wall, sucks the front end in, and Forrester is along for the ride at that point in the SpeedShop51.com, number 20. Get you a good view. And
right along with them here.
watch this right rear. Just center the wall at the right rear. That's basically all she rode. Break for Aiden Forrester. He's put together a pretty solid season with the Next Level Racing 360. He's picked up that big win at Port Royal earlier this year. Nonetheless, we'll move on with this race as Forrester sits in the work area, as well as Ryan Avila. Your 2nd place car has gone to the work area. Avila made heavy contact with the wall earlier, was able to keep it going. Now went to the work area, so 2 out of the top 5 drivers in the work area. I doubt Forrester will be able to get back out because he had some significant damage on that number 20.
Doesn't look like Avila's going to be able to get back out either.
A tough break for Ryan Avila. He had a really, really good run going tonight. I'll leave Pettit and Ross Kaiser on the front row, the initial front row, before Kaiser dropped to the back of the field. And something we haven't talked about, Kelby, Ross Kaiser was supposed to start at the front, dropped to the back, and has driven his way up to the front of the field. Question is, does he have anything for his teammate, Tanner Pettit? We're about to find out. Chevy Silverado back to the infield. Pettit, Kaiser, for turn number 4, green flag.
Back into 1 and 2. Kenny Hoffman way down on the inside of the racetrack, noses into the lead, but Pettit and Kaiser get back around him down the back straightaway. Giglio running right behind him in 4th, then it's Shreves in 5th as a couple of cars riding up along the wall again off of turn number 4.
Side by side for the 4th spot, and it turns 1 and 2 between Randy Shreves and Blake Giglio. Those two side by side down the backstretch. Giglio in the 16 will pull ahead as they enter turn number 3. Cole Croft and Matt Grimm having a good race just back behind those two.
Battle is on for the lead. Ross Kaiser has taken the lead from Tanner Pettit down the back straightaway now, side by side and wing to wing and wheel to wheel. Pettit back to the lead off of turn number 4. Kaiser tried to turn it off the top side. That puts him back into the clutches of Kenny Hoffman as we're back under yellow.
Oh, flag is out one more time here at Knoxville Raceway as Tanner Pettit, I believe, will be officially scored in the lead one more time. As Ross Kaiser, the first guy to really give Tanner a run for his money. And on board with Ricky Jones here. Oh, that was totally different from Forrester's crash, because Forrester's crash, it caught the right rear and it sucked the front end in. Ricky's car, it's like he just hit the wall, almost pancaked it, and it just, I don't even know how to describe that. Well, let's take another look at it. Ricky in that multicolored 19, that was like he pancaked the wall and it just got on the right front and him catapulting through the air. I believe that was Michael Farron that got into him as well.
Farron's had some tough breaks already tonight. He's been caught up in other people's stuff, unfortunately. And it looks like his night's, he's at least in the pits. So's Cole Croft.
Cole Croft is a really up and down night. He's been caught up in a few incidents and was making a run back into the top 10. So tough break for Cole Croft. Tanner Pettit one more time will be in the field back to the green flag. Ross Kaiser in 2nd. You and I just mentioned that Kaiser has been really the only driver to challenge Tanner Pettit for the race lead. Question is, can he get back past him? He was able to get past Pettit momentarily before Tanner was able to cross him back. Showblock, who we thought wasn't going to be able to start the second half, already plus 10 up to 9th for car 17. Pettit, Kaiser, back to the fire-off zone in turn number 4, green flag.
Into 1 and 2, Kaiser goes low through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway, pulls even with Pettit. Pettit pulls off down the back shooting into turn number 3. Here comes Giglio. Giglio into turn number 3 into the 3rd spot, trying to make it a 3-car race. Kenny Hoffman down on the inside. 3-car race for 2nd as they go into 1 and 2.
Giglio looking, trying to get onto the podium, but right now it's all occupied by 51 esports cars. Giglio sweeps high of Hoffman. Hoffman gets caught on the middle, and Blake Giglio with a massive run gets the 3rd. It's all for naught. We go yellow.
Boy, Giglio had a whale of a run going. Tough to see that yellow come out right there.
Sure what the cause of the yellow flag is for, but we'll get a good look right here. Cole Croft, oh, Patetti and Paquette got together, and that catapulted the 14 all the way down the racetrack, and nothing Cole Croft did wrong right there, just come of circumstances right there. Patetti in the 14, and Paquette made contact, and Cole Croft just an innocent bystander.
Croft didn't, other than that other car, he didn't hit anything.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Kelby. As Cole Croft, if there's any damage on that race car, I can't imagine it'd be a whole lot. So we'll get another look at it here off of turn number 4. And Cole Croft did skip across the berm, but didn't hit a wall or anything like that. So not be that much damage on that 29 car. I did see Michael Farron dive down to the work area after the yellow flag came out. Yeah, not seeing any damage on Cole Croft. the son of Willie Croft, longtime racer in California, finished second in the NARC points this year, did Willie Croft, and this is his son Cole Croft racing the 29 tonight. Cole's had a little bit of real-world racing experience, racing outlaw karts at Cycleland, Red Bluff. I believe he made a trip up to Lakeport, Roseburg a time or two, so Croft definitely following in his father's footsteps, not the run he was looking to have tonight, but still plenty of time to pass a few more cars as lights are out around the Knoxville Raceway.
Field rolls down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Off of corner number 4. Does anybody have anything for Kaiser or Pettit? Green flag is back out.
Inside of the front row, definitely the place to be on restarts as Pettit shoots out of the lead. Here comes Blake Giglio. Giglio on the inside trying to get... Pettit doesn't get there, and in fact, he'll lose a spot to Ross Kaiser. Kaiser in car number 4 up to second. Pettit and Giglio swing wide off the corner. Tanner Pettit still going to hang on to the lead.
Kaiser down on the bottom of the racetrack, making the inside line work for now, at least to keep the second spot. Pettit there off of the turn number 2 to keep the lead. Giglio. Now Kenny Hoffman joining the battle for second with Giglio and Kaiser.
3-car race for the second spot down the backstretch. Close quarters racing down to the corner. Giglio shoots the gap, gets past Hoffman, past Kaiser for the moment. Does he have the spot off the corner? Oh, Tanner Pettit got into the wall. Tanner Pettit all the way back through the running order, not even the top 5 anymore. Hand the lead to Ross Kaiser as Tanner Pettit slows to a stop in turn number 1. The driver who has dominated all night slows to a stop in turn number 1 and 2. Fortunately, is able to get a tow back to the pit area, so we're able to stay green up front. Now it's Ross Kaiser.
The battle for second has become the battle for the lead. Ross Kaiser holds a slim lead over Giglio and Hoffman. Hoffman way down on the inside in the pink and white number 11 as the cars. Stevens riding up along the wall out of turn number 4 as Hoffman rolls back to the top to try and roll back in on Giglio for the second spot.
Good race right here for that 5th spot. Make that the 6th spot between Terrell Wheeler and Matt Grimm. And back to the inside, reclaims the 6th spot down the front straightaway through turns 1 and 2. Terrell Wheeler had a heck of an evening. Spun out in his heat race. Finished all the way in the back of that one. Was involved in a major crash that had 2 separate parts of his car getting torn up. And he is all the way back inside the top 10 racing for the 6th spot. And here's your champion, Ty Schoblock. He has had a heck of a night too. He currently runs back in the 8th spot. He shoots to the inside of Wheeler for 7th.
Ty Schoblock down to the inside off of turn number 4, going side by side with Wheeler into 1 and 2 now. He goes to the inside of Grimm. Ty Schoblock up and into 6th, plus 13 since the drop of the second segment here. Grimm back down to the inside into turn number 3.
Grimm gets caught out in the slick, and that'll allow Ty Schoblock into the 6th spot. Sets his sights on Randy Shreves for the 5th spot, but Shreves is involved in another 3-car race. And where did Sean Stevens come from? The Aussie was involved in a big accident in segment 1 to restart the race, and he is all the way onto the podium now.
Stevens and Giglio going at it for 3rd. Giglio slides up. Stevens turns it back down the back straightaway. Kenny Hoffman has taken the lead out in front as we look at the battle for 3rd. Giglio down there, down on the bottom, trying to take it from Stevens, but Stevens maintains the spot for now. So here comes Ty Schoblock.
Stevens with a run off the high side will take the 3rd spot and bring in Ty Schoblock with them. Schoblock around the outside of Giglio. That's for the 4th spot off the corner. Move Ty Schoblock to 4th. So 2 drivers that sustained heavy damage in the first segment now running 3rd and 4th.
Kaiser is taking the lead back as we're watching the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as Hoffman and Kaiser going side by side into 1 and 2. The race is on for the lead. Hoffman slides up. Kaiser turns it back down the back straightaway. Kaiser takes the lead. Now he enters low. Hoffman trying to keep pace as Kaiser slides up. We complete another lap down to a final handful, Drake.
Kaiser and Hoffman both work the high side of turns 1 and 2 as they rocket past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They're back. Showblock trying to break onto the podium. He's already got the championship locked up. Does he go for broke?
Kaiser and Hoffman still racing close for the lead as we look at Stevens and Schobelot going at it for third and fourth. Into 1 and 2. Stevens goes low. Schobelot airs him up on the top and takes the third spot. Stevens in trouble.
Andy Shreves looks to be in trouble too, and the yellow is out. They were coming down to the white flag. Yellow is out as Stevens slows in turns 3 and 4. Possibly ran out of fuel, and that 26 is another car down in the work area with him as well. That was Randy Shreves who ran out of fuel too in the 56. He was running 5th.
Tough break for those guys there. Looking back through, it was actually Ernie Williams Jr. getting a right rear and getting upside down, and he got hit by the 14 there.
That's Derek Patetti he got hit by, and it's a tough racing deal right there between Terrell Wheeler and Ernie Williams Jr. Take another look at it. Wheeler in that white and orange number 43, and it's the saying that a car never wins a battle with the right rear tire, and Derek Patetti was not sure which way Ernie Williams was going to go, and here's going to be a better look at it right here. Williams in that light yellow 91 just finds the wrong corner of Wheeler's number 43 and flips pretty good. And there's Patetti. Thought Wheeler was going to stay on the high side, and then all of a sudden that 91 car landed in his lap. Way for those guys to end the season, that's for sure. Teddy, they have a shot at making it back out, but I'd say Ernie Williams Jr. will be done for the evening. So very, very unfortunate way for those guys to end their season. Where's Ross Kaiser?
On the racetrack.
Where is Ross Kaiser gone? He's shown us out of the race.
I wonder if Kaiser ran out of fuel.
It's not a bad theory because we just watched 2 other cars run out of fuel. So that hands the lead over to Kenny Hoffman out of Pennsylvania.
Does Ty Schobelot have anything for him as we come back to green?
This race has been turned on its head not once but twice now. Green flag is back out. 2 more to decide it here at Knoxville. Hoffman through turns 1 and 2 beats the boards as Schobelot slides to the cushion. Blake Giglio now with a good run for the second spot.
What a restart for Hoffman as Giglio slides up and takes the second spot. Schobelot turns it back underneath him, but Giglio's going to maintain that second spot for the time being. Schobelot into 1 and 2 at the white flag.
Kenny Hoffman all alone out in front of the field. Through turns 3 and 4, Kenny Hoffman will end the season on the right note. He's your winner here at the Knoxville Raceway. Second spot at the line goes to Ty Schobelot. He's your champion. Blake Giglio third. Jonathan Paquette with a strong 4th place run. Grimm for J6. Oliver 7th. Farron 8th. Patetti 9th. And Wheeler will round out your top 10.
How about that? Kenny Hoffman. I'm not even sure where he started, but I know he started deep.
Well, we knew 50 laps at Knoxville. With the 360, we're going to be wild. I don't think any of us really anticipated they were going to be that wild. Kenny Hoffman in the Speed Shop 51.com 51 Esports number 11, your winner here at Knoxville, as he's going to burn it down one more time in 3 and 4 and smacks the wall, but he doesn't care as he is your winner. Hoffman with his 3rd win on the season comes in one of the biggest races of the year. Kenny Hoffman, your winner here at the Knoxville Raceway. Ty Schobelot, your champion with the Next Level Racing 360s. Blake Giglio, 3rd. Jonathan Paquette, 4th. Matt Grimm, 5th. Ryan Frugier, 6th. Brian Oliver, 7th. Michael Farron, 8th. Derek Patetti, 9th. Terrell Wheeler, rounding out your top 10. Then it was Sean Stevens, Ernie Williams Jr., Randy Shreves, Ross Kaiser, Cole Croft, Tanner Pettit, Ricky Jones, Ryan Avila, Aiden Forster, and Caden Folkerts, your finishing field.
Only 9 cars were rolling at the end of that one.
Like I said, I think we all knew attrition was going to be a part of this race. I just don't think we all picked. I don't think any of us thought 9 cars were really going to finish that race, but lo and behold, here we are. Well, we're just getting word that Ty Showblock wasn't eligible to start the second part of this feature event. So he is now scored with multiple laps down, and he is not going to be on the podium tonight. So Kenny Hoffman, your winner. Blake Giglio will now be up to second, and Jonathan Paquette will now round out your official podium here at the Knoxville Raceway. We'll get a word with them here in just a moment.
I know, Tim. Hello.
Kenny Hoffman, your 50-lap feature event winner here at the Knoxville Raceway. And Kenny, that race was just wild start to finish. And at one point, once you picked up the lead, were you surprised that you're at the front? Because it seemed like cars in front of you were dropping like flies.
See, I wanted to be really cautious up, that first half. I mean, that was just absolutely grueling. I mean, there was just cars wrecked everywhere and, just trying to survive that first half so you could race the second half. That's really was the main focus. And then, once we were able to keep ourselves alive there and start up front, I knew the top was going to get really, really treacherous, especially 3 and 4. And, that's why I kind of stayed committed toward the bottom. I just figured if I can just play it cool for however long, and then the last like 5 just kick it in the high gear and go. But I saw Tanner when he was winning, he got up and got in the wall and broke his car. We had a really good battle there with Ross going on, but he unfortunately with that last yellow was going to come out run out of fuel, so he just pulled in the pit so it wouldn't affect anybody in the points, because if it started a wreck. So but yeah, it's definitely crazy. Just happy that I could survive for 50 total laps. It gets really tricky, especially around a place like this.
This was your 3rd win on the season, and you've been competitive just about every night. The Next Level Racing 360s have been out for this season. Think you're going to be a strong championship contender for this title next year?
Yeah, well, if we race every week, I'm gonna say, yeah, I think I think we'll have enough speed to put pressure on people for the championship. We'll just see what goes on with next season.
Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you in victory lane here tonight?
Yeah, just shout out to all the boys at Momentum Sim Sport and Speed Shop 51, and then our sponsors: Trackside Collective, Tiltec Racing Products, Everything Dirt, Verdict Clothing, CT Designs, and CD Cinematography. And then shout out to Josh for putting the season on. And then thank you to you guys for coming out and putting on awesome broadcasts for all of us to go back, enjoy, and have a really good platform to race for.
That's Kenny Hoffman. He is your season finale winner with the Next Level Racing 360s here at the Knoxville Raceway. We'll bring in Blake Giglio. Second place result tonight, and to say the least, his night was up, down, and all around. Blake, just walk me through the evening, because you had to make a big charge through the heat race, and it seemed like you went from the back to the front about 2 or 3 times in the feature event. Just take us through that race.
Yeah, man, that was one of the most, I think, exciting races I think I've had in a while. It was, yeah, like you said, it was up and down. We started, I think, 5th in heat 2, I think, or something like that, and we drove up to 2nd, so we had a good heat race, and then we started the feature there. Thank God it was 50 laps, or we probably would have been stuck in the back. Definitely take that. I think that if the top was in a 3 and 4, I think we would have a shot to win. I just got to work out myself on the bottom in 3 and 4.
Anything you could have really thrown at Kenny in the late stages there? I know you were in your own little battle with Showblock there, but what moves could you have made a little bit differently that could have resulted in a better outcome for you?
Yeah, I think when I got in front of Tide there, if I could have got a yellow, I was really good at hitting the top 1 and 2, and then I would have just had to throw a bomb, I think, in 3 and 4, which, it might have worked, might not have worked, but you never know, and we just have to get better for next time.
Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you on the podium?
Yeah, shout out to M9 Performance, Apex Auto Glass, CDC Racing, Lodrag Esports, Swatch and Shock Technology. They do a great job over there. And just everyone here that you guys for broadcasting, and then, yeah, everyone that puts the league on.
Giglio rounding out the podium here tonight, or excuse me, second place result. I still got it stuck in my head that Blake ended up third. We're not going to talk to the guy that actually did finish third, Jonathan Paquette. And Jonathan, we were just talking to Blake, and his race was up, down, all around. You could say the same thing for you. You were bouncing off of cars. You were sometimes involved in big accidents. How were you able to end up on the podium?
Consistency, the first half, I went back and watched, and Cole Croft got loose and spun out right in my right rear. And at that point, I thought it was done. I was like, I felt the hit, and I was like, man, and just, like I said, consistency, just made sure to hit my marks. At one point, I kind of got nervous, and it just, helps to just breathe and calm yourself down and keep it rolling.
Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you on the podium tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, I got to thank Josh for giving me a team to work with. Trevor Merritt at M9 Performance for the setups. Ryan Frege at Apex Auto Glass. Jake Swanson at JST Shock Technology. And without those guys, I wouldn't be here.
Jonathan Paquette, he will round out the podium this evening. And before we go away, we will talk to Ty Showblock, your champion, the Next Level Racing 360s. And we got him here now. Ty Showblock, officially your champion with the Next Level Racing 360s. And Ty, really consistent season for you coming into the night. You had an average finish of third and an average starting spot of third. Was consistency like that the key to winning this title?
I mean, yeah, for sure. This is actually the first time I've won points in a league, and also I showed up to every week, so that does kind of help. But yeah, I mean, I just try to race everyone as clean as I can and respectfully as I can, and I just, hope I get the same in return, and that just leads to, like you said, consistent starts, consistent finishes, whole season.
You mentioned this being your first championship in a league. How much does this championship mean to you, being at your first?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got to race against a lot of really good people over this past year and a half I've been doing this, and it's nice to finally get one. I feel like I have terrible luck week in and week out with this stuff. I feel like I get wrecked a lot. It only happened, fortunately, I think 3 out of the however many weeks we ran this league. So that was a part of the, third average finish. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool because put in a lot of work into this and finally see some results.
Anybody you'd like to thank for helping you get to the championship this season?
Yeah, well, mainly all year it was just me and my friend Jack Ritz, but just this past week I got onto House of Speed, so I'd like to thank Dylan Hauser for all the help he's going to be putting forth towards the team and the sprint team and all of us for the coming months, years, who knows.
Well, race fans, Ty Showblock, your champion with the Next Level Racing 360s. Through consistency, he picks up his first league championship aboard the number 17 entry. LB, that will draw our evening to a close here from the Knoxville Raceway.